So you will not be supporting you and the 2 children on that. You are going to be assisting in the support of the children. Now, that, what is it, $66 a month?
Absolutely.
That doesn't cut it, Mr. Hanna.
That's all I can afford. I've got to live too. I've got to provide a roof over my head as well.
Just a second. Mrs. Hanna, if the children are going to be with you, I suggest that tomorrow morning, bright and early, you call your job and ask them if you can take a day. You go down to the local family court and you request an immediate upward modification of that award of $66 a month, because it's an outrageous award for the support of 2 children. It is in violation of the federal child support guidelines for 2 children, even on disability. So I suggest that you do that. Are you taking your children home with you?
Yes.
Now, that takes care of one issue.
Okay.
The next issue is these children should spend reasonable quality time with both parents, and that includes their father.
Your Honor, she won't tell me where the children are.
Just a second.
She won't tell me. She won't tell me their school, their babysitter. I can't contact the children.
Mr. Hanna, what I'm trying to do now, sir, what I'm trying to do today is put you beyond your anger of yesterday and try to...
Angered. I am just totally in disbelief that she gets up here and lies about all these things. And I've been there for the children. I've always been there for the children. I've never turned my back on them. And if they ever need anything, I will try my best that they won't do without.
Mr. Hanna, you don't seem to realize that it takes 2 people to make problems in a marriage. I'm not finding either one of you blameless, and I'm not getting into that right now, because both of you, I'm sure, made some serious mistakes during the course of your marriage. Right?
Yes.
All right. And, you know, people have long memories. When the marriage folds, people tend to remember only the terrible things about each other. The only good thing that came out of your marriage are 2 lovely children. And what I'm trying to do now, Mr. Hanna, without going back into history, is to persuade your wife to make sure that these children spend quality time with their father. He has an order of visitation which provides for visitation when, Mrs. Hanna?
Every odd weekend.
Well,
this weekend.
Excuse me?
Which is this weekend. I'm to pick them up Friday.
Fine. Mrs. Hanna, if I were the judge making an order of visitation for Mr. Hanna, I wouldn't make an order for every other weekend. I would have him see his children every weekend. But right now, that's the order until he gets it changed.
Tried.
Well, if you tried and you failed, I'm sorry. I think it's important for children to see both their parents every week. Every other week doesn't make a father. Every other week makes a visitor. And that's unfortunate. So I would, Mr. Hanna, in court, not outside of court, but in court, I would fight for that every weekend. And Mrs.
Mark, I'd give it to you.
Or 3 weekends so that Mrs. Hanna can spend 1 weekend with the kids if she wants to go away with them. If she's going to be working too, she should have a weekend, perhaps a month, to do some quality playtime with the kids. It's important for him to see his children. And if he's supposed to see his children this weekend, where do you want to pick up the children on Friday? Is there a neutral place?
That's the court order is, until we change it, he gets them from the school.
Well, you have plenty of time this week to go back and change it. And I suggest that tomorrow morning, perhaps you meet each other at the courthouse. Do you each have attorneys in your matrimonial action?
I am seeking a different attorney at this time.
Well, but you had an attorney. Before you change your attorney, I suggest you leave here, you call your attorneys, you say, we have to go to the courthouse tomorrow morning because we have to find a different spot to pick up and return the children that's more neutral. Meanwhile, children are going home with you today. I suggest you stay home with them tomorrow, make arrangements for them, and make arrangements to have your attorneys contact each other so that you can modify this order if it has to be modified at all. That's the order, Mr. Hanna. If you want it changed, you have to go through a court. You can't resort to self-help. Understood? That's all. Thank you.